Siedzisz nie zbierasz tego.
Cię nie zabije, może Guys, as together with Michał, we are waiting to show you the presentation, who will be the basis. Please mute yourselves, okay? There will be plenty of possibilities to talk and ask questions, but I hear a lot of noise. Do you see my screen?
Yes. Pavel from Plenty, please mute yourself.
Guys, please mute, because it will be impossible to share the knowledge with you with such a lot of noise.
Paulina, you as a host can mute also everyone in the room. You have the power to do this.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, it's Pavel who's the noisy one, so I think you can click on him then and make him muted.
Okay, I believe that now is better. So we can start, Kasia?
Yes, yes.
Pani chciała teraz powiedzieć tak, nie gadałeś, czyli dobra.
Paulina, could you mute them, all of them?
Yeah, just give.
Because as I gave you the host, I'm not able to do it, but if you click on the not muted one, you can probably ask them to mute or something. Okay, everyone's muted, I believe.
Hope so as well, but we will see what will happen. Okay. Hey guys, I hope you see my screen. Just let me know if you see the caliber with the first slide.
Yeah, perfectly.
I do.
I do, Michał. Okay, so just in a second we will share with Michał our knowledge, but before we start, a few words about who we actually are. Michał, would you start and present yourself?
Yeah, as the older one, I will take this advantage. Hello, Michał Miszłowicz once again. I'm within BNP Paribas for.
Sorry, I have to stop you for a second. I got a message. There's someone in the waiting room, and since I'm not the host now, can you please make sure if people are there to admit them?
Okay, just done it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so for almost for my whole professional career, I'm involved in banking. I started as a customer service
Michał, I believe you need to unmute yourself.
Yeah, when you are muting me, yes, that's true. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now this is okay.
Okay, so once again, I'm involved in banking for all my professional life, almost, at least from the tax office point of view. I worked in customer service for corporate clients, went the whole way through business development, cash management, budgeting and reporting, up to digital transformation. I also spent 1 year in corporate sales. So I believe I have a quite good view on the functioning of the bank, And from this point of view, I'm trying to involve startups, scale-ups, and technological solutions coming from them into our core functionality. So I was also involved in plenty of activities, like one of the Warsaw Booster previous editions as a mentor, other programs for startups and scale-ups. So my focus is to facilitate the cooperation between small, agile company and the big elephant or mastodon or even mammoth, because they are resurrecting them quite recently. So the bank. Paulina.
Okay, so I joined Michał in 2017, but previously I was one of the leaders of the startup community. I'm used to work for Science and Technology Park, incubators, acceleration and pre-acceleration programs, and venture capital funds. So together, let's say we saw almost everything. I'm sure that not everything, but most of all. And let's say our job is to support the company that we are working, so BNP Paribas bank, but not only, as you will see in a few minutes, in delivering certain stuff for our customers. So this is something that we will share with you in details in a minute, also with the benchmarks from other organizations, from other corporations, because together with Michał, we built our own way of working with young companies, our own way of treating startups, young technological companies as vendors, which actually works as hell. And we will tell you, let's say, all of the best practices, all of the meat that comes from it. And also we will tell you how to talk with our colleagues from different organizations. So basically, this is the main idea of the workshop today. Okay, about the group, because this is important for you to know. Michał, what you?
Yeah, so as a BNP Paribas, we are really international. We are present in 68 countries and in Poland. We consist also of other activities. So BNP Paribas is not only banking, it's also car fleet management, real estate and management, leasing factoring, which is quite obvious in scope of financial institution, but also insurance and probably other things we don't know yet because of the 68 countries and flavors, different flavors in each of them. And basing on this, we have lots of employees, colleagues working on different topics all across the globe, and we often receive information about interesting solutions. So, for example, from South Africa or Central Africa, that is working as hell for client acquisition, coming from very promising startups, and maybe we would be interested in implementing this. So we are in the middle. We are dedicated for innovation, for implementing them. And we are receiving requests not only from the local or global innovation market, but also within BNP Paribas Group. And what is important here, there are plenty of international corporates based in Warsaw or in Poland with offices with similar or even bigger scope of activity. So knowing who is inside, what kind of activities and what kind of activities the corporation is performing is really really important to be able to start the cooperation. So as I'm saying, we are looking for fintechs, obviously, because we are financial institutions, but in this with this size, we are also looking for corporate tech. So any technology solution that could be adequate to any big corporation. So for example, optical image recognition, OCR, is used in banking, but it also is used in all the office working and jobs, and it could be reused all over the group for BNP Paribas, for example.
As you will see in a second, based on the use cases, being a part of the international group brings a lot of possibilities. These are actually a lot of possibilities for those startups, for those young companies who start to work with us, and you will see that on the cases. But on the other hand, for us, this is hell lot of startups that want to talk to us and say, hey guys, we've got a brilliant technology. For sure, you can use it. Just have in mind that people like us, not only in BNP Paribas, have tens of emails and messages like this during the week. And this is extremely tough to meet with all of the companies, with all of the startups, to take the best one of them and even to share with you the priorities. But you've got the space in here to talk to us, and of course we are in here to share with you some of the knowledge. But just be sure that whenever some of you will start to work with us as a vendor, you will have plenty of possibilities to work, to scale, because as Michał mentioned, we are not looking only for solutions dedicated to a bank, but you will see that we are looking for solutions concerning food and agrotech, concerning sustainability, concerning regtech, sometimes on even housing. So you would be surprised how many topics we are touching. But anyway, going further, of course you will hear details in a minute, but we are quite, let's say, not typical team, because we are doing let's say 2 different kinds of services. So as we are in the bank since 2017, we of course expanded and developed our offer, because we are actually as well a startup, but in a corporation. So one part of the offer is the offer for tribe leaders and product owners. And this is extremely important, because this is something which led us to effects. Because what is important, and you will hear that from me and Michał many times today, our job is basically not to support the startups, at least not at the beginning. At the beginning, we are to support tribe leaders and product owners with the solutions from the startups, with the solutions from the external young technological companies, but our customer is inside. So these are the guys who know, who's got certain KPIs, certain priorities, and we are the team that supports them in meeting them with our top service, with the office hours, with in which we will have a deep dive in just a few minutes to help you understand how it actually works. And we've got
Paulina,
yes.
Just there is a question about tribe leaders, and frankly speaking, I'm not surprised. So one step back, we are ongoing through agile transformation. So we are implementing agile mindset and organization and work culture inside BNP Paribas. So basically speaking, tribe leaders, this is the business. So these are the owners of the products and areas that need help to develop some kind of product service. So from our point of view, they are clients inside the bank. So they are people with problems we can solve.
These are, and what is important, these are people with money and with the power. Yeah, so while working with them closely, let's say we've got a direct touch and direct impact on what can be done actually. Yeah, because when you're in a huge organization, this is one of the, let's say, the biggest challenge is to go to the right people and don't waste time on meetings that won't get you anywhere. So we are, let's say, in the middle of it. So let's say the road is quite easy and simple for us. So tribe leaders, product owners, some, let's say in the old world of different organization, can be business owners, just basically. Yes?
I think there might be still someone in the waiting room. If you could check it, because I got a mail from
Okay,
Paula.
I'm just okay. Should be joining. Okay. Going further with the offer. So this is something that actually you're exclusive to know, because this is not yet official. We are developing another leg of our offer, the outside offer, actually, the offer dedicated to young technological companies, as you, basically. Again, details in a few minutes, but we want to be your financial partner as well. So just to give you a different opportunity on the market. So not just going to venture capital funds, but also a bank could be the partner in different, let's say, mode than it usually were. But, okay, well, our skills, this is also important to know. Innovation teams, I'm not using the name because the names are different in different organizations. Sometimes this is innovation lab, sometimes this is a chapter. The skills of those people are quite unique usually. And just have in mind that whenever you approach board member, supervisory board member, CEO, I'm telling you that because this is basically our daily life. In the end, you will finish with us. Yeah, so honestly, you don't follow CEOs, yes, and the board members, because in the end they will say, hey, Paulina, could you just talk to the guys and check it? Really, those people are, let's say, extremely overloaded with the topics and with the people that want something from them. So in the end, this is our job to do. So I'm telling you that because usually those people like us are just the best single point of contact, and it does not work like that you will always tell you, yes, you're welcome, yes, for sure, we will find time for you. Usually we will say we have no time, or not right now. I'll tell you why in a minute. But anyway, there is no better entrance point for you. So our skill is to test, adopt technological solutions from startups. I have no idea if you ever heard about the pull and push attitude. These are, let's say, two different methodologies, two different attitudes, but we are following the pull attitude. So our job is to fulfill the needs of the tribe leaders and the product owners, and then to go to the market and search for the startups. How, we will tell you in a minute. We create direct processes and the methods to effectively adopt innovative solutions. So again, office hours in details soon. We support the tribe leaders and product owners because actually these are the people who have money. Of course, we also have our budget, but from our, let's say, practices, the best way is to join forces and to adopt a solution. Details on the cases in a minute. We also teach our organization, so we are running workshops. We teach how to do, for example, in Canvas, which is quite well known for you, but let's say in the corporate banking, this is not a daily knowledge, and we just use it. We operate the bank's investments in startups, so this is not something we do daily, but we do. Michał will tell you more how. But one of the cases we did is the case with Authenti, so e-signatures platform. We did the investment together with PKO BP, Alior Bank, Black Pearls VC, and Innovation Nest, so two venture capital funds. I believe you know them well. And well, yes, we organize a lot of stuff, but important for you is to know that we are responsible for financial opportunities for young technological companies, and this is something that usually banks do not do, especially in Poland. Usually banks do not want to discuss with startups on financials. We are changing that as well. Effect and highlight, Michał, would you continue?
Okay, so yeah, so we are doing digital transformation since 2017. So it was a hard work because before I would say we were nowhere So as Paulina said, we were a startup. We received a seed capital, and we have very demanding investors. And I believe we managed to deliver. So after these 4 years, we managed to, as Paulina said, invest in Authentic. And this is quite interesting story to share with you why we did it. We received a recognition award from The Heart as a best team in innovation lab, or whatsoever you call it. We also managed to face the challenge of chatbots. So this is for people working for corporations. Chatbots are a nightmare because there are plenty of startups, scale-ups, and well-established companies offering chatbots, while they do not focus on the real need of the customer. They just want to sell a chatbot. So we managed to do a very extensive office hours on chatbots, and we both educated our colleagues from inside the bank how to use chatbots, what the chatbots really are, that natural language processing is a base for plenty of different products, including voice banking, which is another buzzword. But we did it right. We developed a competence center for natural language processing. We made an MVP or a POC. It's a chatbot Eva, and she's dedicated to tackle the procurement issues we all have within our organizations. So she's answering all the questions that normally our procurement team would answer, and it would consume the time. And we were also recognized by the market, and we did it with Sentione. So Sentione was also recognized as one of the leaders in AI chatbots and natural language processing in Poland, but also in the world. So they received some prestigious awards. So do you have? Yeah.
I'm just looking, of course, at the chat, but anyway, just to show you the effects and how extremely effective we are. After building the process in details, we will go in a minute of the process of office hours, our original method. We managed to have, so the process we started around 20 times for this day, today. Apart from the investment, we've got 16 implementations already. 3 POCs are actually ongoing, yes, and we've got 3 frame agreements. So as I admire our colleagues in different corporations, but honestly, I have not heard about these kinds of effects of the cooperation. So we just basically show you how it works. But anyway, each organization needs to find their own way to do this stuff. I'm just checking the chat. Mateusz Symmetric. Would you be so kind to elaborate
not
a bit?
necessarily. Okay, so what you wrote, that we are linking bank clients with startups, as a small spoiler, not yet. As for today, we treat our colleagues from inside the bank, the business owners, as our clients. So I would compare us to internal consulting company that is solving internal problems with external suppliers. So, for example, here you can see the sign language translator. It's delivered to BNP Paribas by Migam, and we had a challenge. So our colleagues who are managing the branch network, they need to fulfill several obligations to disabled people according to market requirements, and they managed to translate all the documentation to Braille, and this was covered. But they had a problem how to communicate with deaf people. So the sign language was something we couldn't teach our colleagues in the branch. So we need a solution. So first of all was to find an appropriate company that would deliver us a tool to service those clients. And during the research, we found out that there is a different approach needed for such people, that even how you name them is very important. So this is kind of a savoir-vivre for this kind of disability. And we started cooperation with a company, a foundation, NGO, Deaf Respect, and they helped us to choose the best company to service deaf clients. So in this case, the branch network was our client, so they were the business owner with the problem and the budget to solve it. We were the scouting party and the facilitator of the process, and Migam and Deaf Respect was the supplier. So I hope this clarifies this example, the question, who is our client? So we are working on behalf of the bank and some sister companies. So this, I believe, will be in the minute, but frankly speaking, we are implementing external technology into the bank, inside the bank, to improve our processes, improve our product offer, and operational model.
Okay, going further.
Thanks. So now it's clear for me what it's all about. Thank you very much.
We will have more cases for you, so don't worry. I hope we will ask many of them. But before we go into details, this is also important to discuss a bit of the different roles and models of the innovation teams. Actually, where they are and what kind of skills do they have. Probably you have the opportunity to work with at least one of them. These are, I just chose City Handlowy, I chose Bank PKO, and of course us, because these are the most, let's say, different cases of how the innovation teams work on, or where they are in the organization, because this is extremely important. Because sometimes it happens that the team like us actually does not have any power. Yeah, so let's say it will take a little bit longer to work with them to support you effectively, but still. So I will start with the Bank PKO, with the animal, of course, on the logo. So those guys, so the innovation team there is a part of one of the business lines. Yeah, so this is a retail banking business line, something that is banking for individuals. And this is basically their focus. Yeah, so probably if you'd wish to approach the team of Jan van der Sar, it would be good for you if you would have the solutions for the retail banking. Of course, they've got plenty of connections with the rest of the banks, so they will support you. I'm sure they won't leave you alone, but their main, let's say, focus is to find solutions that could be dedicated to individuals, to channels, to online channels for individuals, for digitalization of those relationships. One of the effects of their job is basically the app. I don't know, I do not remember the name actually, I won't lie, of the apps for youngsters for start the banking. Yeah, so for example, if you're around 13 years old, you can start banking with the bank. Actually, they've got a nice app to do that, with a lot of, let's say, perks and value-added services to help the young people get familiar with finance, actually. Yes. If you go, for example, to City Handlowy, and of course Bank PKO, this is a Polish bank now. This is also important that usually they have certain changes at the top management level, because basically this is a national bank, or national, let's say, or people connected with the government at the back. So sometimes they've got certain moves that can freeze them. It happens. Just this is quite important for your business as well. So whenever you're searching for a partner, corporate partners, just have that in mind. Check who is at the board, what is the strategy, and check if there has been any of changes lately, yes, or a big changes lately, because this is quite important for the talks for you. According to Citi Handlowy, they're a part, of course, of the American group. So honestly, all of the decision making, this is in the US, and here the team is a part of IT. This is also quite important, but because I would say that they're not so freely in making their own decision or just onboarding new stuff. And basically, if the innovation team is a part of the IT team, let's just say that they have not so much possibilities of cooperation with different parts of the bank, and they will focus extremely, especially on the technological solutions. You will see that this is not only our focus, for example, as still we are working with the IT team, of course. According to us, we are a bit of transversal team, so we are a part of the top management team. So we are directly under CEO and management board. So servicing all of the business lines and working closely with the IT. So let's say that if something happens, if something changes in the priority lists, or when the timing is right or should be right, we are the people that actually know this. This is quite important and quite comfortable. And yes, the important rule, at least for us, well, the job is not to help startups. The job is to help the organization, our organization. I'm just looking at the chat. But anyway, Michał, would you start the story of our original process of implementing startups, about the office hours? Having in mind that the process, details of the process will be at the another slide, and they will have a deep dive there. Mishu, unmute yourself.
Yeah, okay. So I unmuted myself on the phone, not on the web. Okay, so I will tell you about how the things were before we arrived and what we faced with our first implementation. So the main problem with procurement process is that it's painful for everybody. So in most cases, we need to make a tender as a huge organization. We need to choose from among 5, 10 companies. All of them must meet certain criteria. So they must have good financial results. We need to check them in scope of KYC, MSCQ, so major sanctioned countries that we don't want to work with. For all of this, we need to prepare tons. We had to prepare tons of documents, and each action toward the market, each searching for a new supplier was a disaster. It was a huge effort, and our requirement at that moment, frankly speaking, disqualified any company that wasn't Comarch, IBM, or Microsoft, because only those huge companies have a power and resilience needed to stay alive while discussing with the bank. So it was like a dance of two elephants, very majestic, but time-consuming and laying a disaster all around us. So when we want to work with a young, innovative company, so startup, scale-up, however you call it, it was barely impossible because they didn't have, for example, a disaster recovery plan. They were not liquid enough for our requirements, so the P&L was well below zero. So the whole process was taking so long that the young company was dying during this process. So to face this trouble, to overcome these obstacles, we get around all the, I would say, troublemakers along the way. So procurement, of course, IT, architecture, IT security, compliance, legal, all the parties involved in assessing new technologies, new vendors coming to the bank, and we work with them to create a simplified procurement process. So after several tries, we would know what doesn't work, what are the problems. We also listen to our colleagues, so we pivoted the whole process the way it was effective. So as Paulina said, in the next slide, we'll go to the details, but the main obstacles we solve is that the business owner is not a PhD in IT. So when a business owner is asked to prepare a specific, detailed technical description of the solution they are looking for, they are most often wrong, and the description they are sending to the market is useless for a potential supplier. So we don't need any more a detailed technical description. We know what is our BATNA in this scope. We know what is allowed and what is not, and these are the principles. On the legal point of view, we are trying to escape the bank outsourcing regime. So according to the fact that we are a financial institution, we are regulated by KNF, we must oblige to the banking law. There are plenty of requirements we and our suppliers must meet. So this is the case. We are trying to simplify the agreement as much as possible. And if it's not possible to escape certain regulations, we are making them easier to overcome. So we are participating in the negotiation process. We are explaining exactly what the certain clause mean, what are the responsibilities, and we are pushing the legal side of the agreement. We are also making sure that IT security is not killing the initiative. So from their point of view, it would be the best to cut off all the internet in the company, and we would be safe this way. So we are making sure that's not happening, and we are working on principles of security, of compliance, legal and IT that our counterparties must meet. We are also translating the needs of the business. So this is quite important because, as I said previously, there were detailed technical descriptions which are outdated and not very understandable. Now we are saying to our business owners, okay, guys, tell us what is the problem. Simple words, so any other people could understand you. And this way we are giving the problem to the market and we are receiving solutions for the problem. And then we are going into details if the solution is satisfactory, and we are choosing those companies who meet IT legal compliance requirements, so the basics, the principles. We are also choosing solutions that can be distributed in other business lines, other business owners, but also different companies within the group. So I mentioned at the beginning the OCR. So the OCR, I'm calling this a corporate tech. So this is eligible for all big corporations. So when we started cooperation with New Delta back in 17-18, it was started in 2017 and the project was delivered in 2018. We make sure that this solution could be reused by other business lines and then make as a product and to be presented to other BNP Paribas entities in Poland. So this is one of less obvious focus we have, that we need a solution that could be popularized among other businesses within BNP Paribas. And maybe last thing before we go into details, we are doing our homework. So when we receive a problem from the business, we are making sure that this is a technical problem or the problem to be solved by external technology solution, that it's not a process problem, because first we need to clarify and simplify all the processes within this problem, and then we can look for the solution. So once again, an example of paperless. So our cooperation with Authenti includes using qualified signature, digital document processing. But the worst thing you can do with paperless is to implement it as is on top of the paper documents. So it wouldn't work. You need to shape the whole process of signing the document or making the agreement, so you can use the advantages and the properties of digital signature and digital soul of the document. And this is the first step we are doing. We are simplifying and solving all the process problems, and then we are looking for technology. Other way around, it just won't work. So maybe Paulina, you said about the details. Maybe you can go there. And
Okay, I will I will follow with the details for you guys. So this is basically the process. This is the simplification. Let's say our decision funnel, heavily simplified. Important fact for you is that this is not linear. So certain steps are, let's say, must have, like verification and screening and scouting. But what happens after, it depends on the case. So usually what a bank do or used to do when needed a solution, so somebody from the business start to work on the papers with the central procurement department, writing hell of a lot of documents describing a solution, having no idea how the market looks, what opportunities are on the market, or focusing on buzzwords. Because honestly, and this is just obvious, that when you do a certain stuff, when you do the banking and you're a banker for 10 or 15 years, this is impossible for you to know what or understand the robo-advisory or the chatbots or anything else. So usually corporate people, because of the, let's say, big complication of the organization, sometimes really they're driven by buzzwords, and we are the buzzwords killers, actually trying to find a nice solution without going to a classical tender. Yeah, when you write tens of the documents, when you see, let's say, the procedure online.
Sorry, I have to interrupt you again, us, because Milena is she got locked out of Zoom, and I think she's waiting in the waiting room again.
I do not see her, honestly.
Okay. Oh, so I'm just oh, she's here. She's back.
Thank you. I'm already here. I don't know who invited me, but I'm here again.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so guys, in here no paper works, because usually when we see the standard procedure and the standard documentation, so you, for example, you had a technology that could support us, you spend 6 to 12 months on asking what the author meant while describing the stuff. It was so extremely time consuming, and actually it was so complicated that we faced a situation that really nice companies didn't want to work with us. I said, hey guys, why? What is actually the oh, sorry, I'm seeing somebody in the waiting room. I'm not meeting the person. So we asked basically the question, guys, why you do not approach us? Why you don't work to support us with your technologies, with your solutions, no matter what kind of solution we tackle? They say, hey guys, the process is so complicated. Probably we will die sooner than we acquire as our customer. Yeah, so we said with me, hey guys, it cannot look like that. We cannot start talking with a startup, with a young technological company, by checking if they have a nice financial situation. You know better than we then this is kind of absurd when you're a startup, when you're a nice or young company. Yeah, this is just impossible to follow. Yeah, so basically, together with Michał, we built a list of things or the rules that we used to have that were impossible to meet for the startups. And while working closely with the guys from procurement, legal, compliance, I don't know if we need to explain what is compliance inside the bank, central IT and IT security team, we killed those stuff. We asked basically to ourselves, guys, do we actually need all of the stuff? Do we actually need to have such a deep dive in the financial situation while we are not checking or even testing the technology? Just imagine, before having the office hours process and of course tackling new technology, I believe, Michał, that talks with our legal colleagues and with Authentic took around 12 months.
Something like this, and it always started from the beginning. So even a returning startup or scale up had to went all the way again through the process, and we were acting like we met for the first time.
So 12 months, even without starting to test. Yeah, so it was crazy. Adam Koji, I see a question. I will answer it briefly in a second, because this is actually one of the core rules of the process. Yes, but this is what we killed, because it was extremely impossible for you to enter. Yeah, without all of the complicated procedures and all of the stuff, it was completely impossible. Yes. And as we are approached by many companies, more than we can actually meet, I believe that I would have, for sure, I would need to have, I know, a machine that will copy me to talk to all of the companies. So what we say usually is, hey guys, our priorities, and this is a list, usually we do it in a one-to-one talk. We do not, let's say, public, we do not go with the list publicly, because it changes a lot. We will tell you why in a minute. But usually when we see that your solution meets anywhere the KPIs, the actual needs of the tribe leaders and the owners, we will, let's say, make you and have you around the table to talk into the details. When and how the process starts. This is basically, yes, how the process starts to build, let's say, the scenario. Whenever, so first rule, please find me, Michał, and our colleagues from the team on the LinkedIn. Basically, whenever you see hashtag office hours, or at the LinkedIn of us, or on the bank LinkedIn, or on the bank media's webpage, it basically means that we've got priority that was checked carefully. And I will tell you how we do it in a minute. We've got a budget, we've got an ownership, and this is basically, and if you meet our expectation, if you have a solution that could support us, this is the best time to talk to us and have a deep dive. And usually we do not focus so much. Yes.
Maybe one thing, because when I'm listening to you, it sounds rather funny that you are emphasizing so much that we have a budget, business needs, and so on and so forth. So maybe an explanation, because this is really important. And I don't know if you come across this kind of situation, that there are people inside the corporation that they are implementing innovation. Let's say they start to talk with you, consume 1 or 2 months of your time, and then when it comes to conclusion, it suddenly appears that they don't have a budget. So maybe let's come back to the talks next year. They don't have the decision power, so they need to present this to 1 or 2 or 6 committees to make a decision. And this is something we know really well, and this is something we need to put much pressure on. So we are verifying, as Paulina said, we are verifying the business owner that he is a trusted counterparty and she has means to fulfill the cooperation, and the problem is legit. So Paulina would probably kill me, but my favorite need I heard from inside the bank was, please make me something on blockchain. It could be for agro. So this is the perfect example of how not to do the innovation. So we are verifying, we are making sure that the people who will work with you or any other startup, scale-up, innovative company, they will be prepared and they are serious. So I just want to underline this because this is very, very important.
Following the verification part, so if I would put it on, let's say, a timeline, this is actually the part that takes us the most time, because whenever our colleagues from the business came to us, we just do the checking, because usually when they say, hey, find me something on blockchain, or I want a robo advisory to this process, believe me, in 90% of cases, this is not a robo advisory we need actually, and this is not the blockchain we need. Yes, so we are checking that, but also what we do, we try to choose a process that on which we will test a technology, but still, before we go to the market, we optimize the process, because if we usually, well, we are actually the company after, I know, 8 mergers, as far as I remember. So imagine how complicated procedures still we do have inside the bank, how complicated processes still are. So first, what we do, we optimize, we simplify before we go to the market. And as we own a lot of technologies after the merger, so we let's say we eaten BGZ, we eaten Raiffeisen and few other banks, so we got quite complicated technology stack. So again, before we go to the market, we check if there is a solution inside the bank that could support us already. And yes, we got cases when we do not need to go to the market. Usually we say to the business owner, the tribe leader, product owner, whatever, hey guys, honestly, you don't need to go and look for something new. It was purely implemented. We will help you do it better. Usually this is a solution when the guys from inside, so our customers, are not happy, because obviously the guy wanted to be, let's say, a first owner of AI solution inside the bank, and basically we said to him, no, you don't really need to do that. But when we got to the vendor that actually is working with us already, and we changed the process of implementation, we fine-tune it, so let's say that the process is till today 90% more effective than it used to be at the beginning. So our job basically is not always to say yes, especially to the colleagues from inside the bank, is to verify, to check, and then to go to the market. What is also important, while tackling such a huge and complicated organization, we also figure out if we have the process, if we optimize the process, is also to check with which kind of systems the new solution needs to talk with. And this is also important, because when you will see the call for startups, and if there is a need for, let's say, implementation and talking with some other systems that we've got inside, we will tell you, we will tell that openly. Because why I'm talking about that? Because many of the startups has a really nice solution that is working actually nice, but standalone. While putting it with our systems, this is not working. And the cost of the changes in the internal system is so extremely huge that honestly, there is no point of, let's say, continuing the talks with you. So this is what we are checking at the beginning, because this is important. If we want to do that before, it is more likely that we will have, let's say, not so nice surprises on the road. Also, what is important, as we are tackling new stuff, new technologies, innovation, basically, so you know that we are regulated. So we've got KNF, but also we've got restricted group rules. So while we are tackling that cases as, actually this is the most accurate topic for today, like solutions for remote ID verification from the beginning. We've got the guys from compliance, from legal, to check the technologies with us and, let's say, build new rules or adopt the rules that we've got from the group to the reality, yes, to the customer needs and to the technologies. Because without them, let's say, without having those guys from the legal, from compliance, it would be impossible to implement anything new without building, let's say, new rules, actually. Okay, I'm just checking. I believe that this is also a good time to answer the question of Adam Kołodziej. We are not looking for pre-MVPs. Basically, yes, because we've got, let's say, such a big need and for updating, for onboarding solutions to support, let's say, a very important piece of our customers, that we do not have time to work with solutions on the MVP. I don't know if I'm clear enough, but maybe Michał, you will support me in here. But honestly, guys, we would kill you with all of the problems and demands.
What is also important, the pre-MVP most probably won't meet our security and operational security requirements. So we, as a regulated company, we need to work with. It would sound scary. More mature companies. So this is the problem of naming. We are saying startups, scale-ups, startups pre-MVP. So they already have a working product. Most preferably, somebody already is working with them. It mustn't be another bank, because we are looking very actively for cross-industry solutions. But there should be already an existing client, an existing solution on production. We don't have time and the resources to test with you the solution. And this is the true, our KPI, and this is the another thing, our KPI is to implement new technology, not test it, not as Paulina said, support the startup. We need a partner with whom we will fight for the implementation, but the implementation is key success factor. And it's quite connected with another question about value-added services. And this is my opinion. I don't know, Paulina, if you agree, but I have this memory when we organized PSD2 Academy. So short after implementation of PSD2, Payment Service Directive, the second edition, in Poland. So it was announced as a start of open banking era that all the fintechs could finally use banking data to build value-added services, to easily connect to the bank, and so on and so forth. So a lot of buzz. But when we did this event, we invited startups, scale-ups, fintechs to present their idea how to cooperate with bank based on PSD2. 99% of them were monetizing on the bank. So the business model, the products they offered, assume that the bank will pay, and then it's not our business. We were encouraging people to build a joint business model, so how we can earn together, but this was not the focus. And when it comes to value-added services, we need to know the business model, and the business model must be shared. So it's not that the bank will pay, it's how we can encourage our clients to pay for the service so both sides could earn money. So how to deliver the value to the final client and the value of such quality that he will be eager to pay. And Paulina, do you agree?
Yes, I agree, and I'm just looking at the next step. So guys, when we have, let's say, an ownership, business ownership, when we have, let's say, a clearance, what is the actual need of our colleagues from the chosen business line? When we've checked that we do not have a solution inside the bank that could support the need, we go to the market. So we go actually the screening and the scouting. So just before, we also ask our colleagues from the group, hey guys, have you seen something like this? Yes, because sometimes the answer, this is not obvious. And what is important, we are looking also for the solutions outside the banking sector. So one of the cases, and I believe quite exciting cases of cooperation, is our cooperation with Booksy. Some of you probably know, some of you probably use it. So usually, well, it used to be an app when you could book, let's say, a hairdresser, yes. And while the COVID situation appeared, we started to cooperate with Booksy to support us in branches when, let's say, the challenge was not to have queues, yes, not to have people waiting, to keep them safe, of course, and to keep safe our colleagues from the branches. Yes, so we are not focusing especially on the banking market. We look outside, even at the medtech solutions, honestly. Scouting. So as I told you, so hashtag office hours, this is the best key solutions. And what is important, sometimes the rules, as we are a bank, make us to look only for the solutions from the Polish market, sometimes from the EU governance, and this is actually what happens while we started the scouting for the remote ID verification solutions. Honestly, it was no point to work or talk to the guys from the US or the guys from Israel, for example, as the technologies were really nice. But whenever a startup said, hey guys, we are not able to sign a contract with you outside, for example, the EU law, this is honestly, this is a waste of time for us. So this is also what we need to have inside the mind. Do we choose solutions from France, from our colleagues from the group? They've got nice solutions, but honestly, I believe that startups from, let's say, our part of the Europe are technology as strong as any other, but honestly, they're cheaper. Yeah. So whenever a startup comes from any part of the group, there is a challenge because they're at least 4 times or 5 times more expensive than the startups, let's say, from Southern and Eastern Europe. And honestly, even when we find nice solutions from, let's say, Italy, they not exactly want to enter the Polish market because this is too small for them. Yes, so this is what we are facing. This is what we are doing while scouting, but still, this is important for us to check and have a nice benchmark on the market. And actually, yes, if you are at the pre-MVP stage, this is not the process for you, actually, guys. Yes, we spend some time with the startups on the MVP stage when you're, for example, having sustainability solutions, because when we look at the market, we know that we need to spend some time with you guys to help you to develop your business model, to help you get to you and support you, because the topic is not easy. Yeah, and the hardest question of the cooperation is how to join forces, you guys and us as a bank and our colleagues from different entities, how to join forces, how to onboard customers, and how to earn money together. Yeah, so this is actually what we try to do. But basically, if you do not have anything instead of presentation, instead of PowerPoint, this is not a good time to talk with any of the bank. Have that in mind. Office hours. So
maybe, Paulina,
yeah?
one thing, because you said that we are looking for startups. So we are launching the scouting, we are giving the problem to the market. So we are acting only on certain area. And again, there are plenty of startups coming to us, startup scale-ups. I would say startups, but this is a huge membership area. So young, innovative companies, let's say. And they have really nice solutions that they are not fitting our current needs. So, and this is a really honest answer we are giving to them. Guys, as for today, we cannot work with you, but we will keep you on the shelf. And when the time comes, when we identify a business owner, a need, a problem that you are solving, because we know that you have a legit, nice technology, we'll come back to you. And we are coming back. It's not only the placeholder and nice way to say goodbye. When this happens, we really remember what we put on hold, and we are coming back when the time is right. So, and I believe this is quite common among mature corporates working with startups, that they can recognize a really nice, good solution and give an honest answer. Either, okay, guys, it's too early for you to work with us, go for a smaller market, smaller companies, gain some experience, and then come back to us. This is the one scenario. And the second one, your solution is really good. We would benefit much, but as for today, we do not have a business owner. So when we will tackle this area, for sure we will come back to you. And this is good to honor this deal.
And sometimes we are painfully honest talking with you, but as Michał says, we have a backlog of, I know, few 100,000 startups that we checked from 4 years. And I would say that part of our job is timing. Yeah, so timing in the relation is everything. So there are situations that for today we will tell you guys, this is not the best time to do that, not on priority list. Any chance to do that, because even we will tell you that we are not technologically ready to use you, basically, yes, or to cooperate with you. But when the situation changes, we will go back to you, and this is basically what we do. So this is quite operational for us. This is quite daily, and we believe it just has to be done like this. Okay, office hours. So let's say the most important part of the actual process. So I will use the example of the latest office hours when we said to the market, hey guys, we are building a portfolio of solutions to support us with remote identity. And what is here important? Usually we look for one vendor, but we do not look for one-time shots. So honestly, I don't want to have 15 vendors for chatbots. I'd wish to have one vendor, but a vendor that has, let's say, a plan to develop the company, which is quite similar with our needs. Basically, because we join forces them, yes? And when you say, hey guys, we are starting with chatbots now, we are developing the stuff, but our actual goal is also to work on the voice bots. And I said, actually, this is the same on our side. We join forces. Yeah, this is quite important. This is what we try to do. This is also what we do with Outend. With the remote ID verification, the situation is quite different, because one solution won't support every process that we have. So we need to have a portfolio. And we got to the market, of course, with the business owners at our backs. And while 2 weeks scouting, we onboarded around 30 companies, both from Poland and from abroad. I believe that today we started the office hours in the middle of summer holidays. And right now we are testing around 4 of them. Yeah, so this is according to the numbers. Usually, we try to meet with all of you guys, all of you who enter the scouting process. One person from our team is purely focused on business, another is purely techie one, because we want to check if you actually have what you say to us or you demand to have. Yeah, you say just to build a short list of the best companies. And usually 5 to 7 startups enter the office hours process. Michał, would you continue here and tell how the office hours work?
Sure. So I just check if I'm unmuted. I'm unmuted also here. So the office hours in a normal world before COVID, it was a full day of physical meetings. So we invited, like Paulina said, 5 to 7 companies for a face-to-face meeting with all people involved from the bank. So the business owner, of course, but also IT, legal, if necessary, compliance, operational risk. And during these meetings, usually they took 45 minutes. We asked the company invited to present the solution to our problem. And this was for the business, and then there was time for Q&A session with IT, legal, and more technical guys to make sure that this solution would fit our organization, our IT and the legal landscape. Nowadays, after COVID, we are doing this remotely, so it's still 45 minutes on Skype or WebEx, and the drill is basically the same. So you are presenting the solution to the problem, and we are assessing the possibilities of implementation, legal, in short, and technical. What is very important, and I will take the breath from Paulina because she's always saying that, the sales is not allowed to the meeting. So it's not time to sell, to brag how many rewards you received or in which acceleration program you participated. We already checked that. So we are choosing the companies based on their experience, on the knowledge, know-how, technical capabilities. So now, during the office hours, it's time to present the solution. You already won one part, being invited to the next step of the process, the most important, the meeting, and there is no need to give your testimonies how awesome you are. And we are also, Paulina said it, and I would like to underline the actual technology behind the solution. So as you probably know, there is a saying, fake it till you make it, not with us. We are really, really angry when somebody is trying to cheat their way to working with the bank. And we had several cases when the company said that they will deliver the solution. They didn't have anything, and everything need to be done precisely for us. So we don't have this kind of time, we don't have this kind of money, we don't need software houses writing the software for us. We need a dedicated owner, founder with the will to go with the business, and then we are eager to help. So I believe this is the most important thing, working with us especially, but probably with other corporations as well, that you feel the business, you really have the solution. It won't, if something needs to be developed, let us know. So this honesty really works well. We had situation when 1/3 of the solution need to be written specifically for us to meet our requirements. We received this information in time, so it was okay for us. When we know that there is no solution on the market meeting our needs, we are open for pure IT development, but we need to know, and it's not time to cut the corners. And after the office hours, so it's a full day, and it's one day instead of several weeks or months to meet all the people. So this is also the value we are giving to both sides, so the startup and the corporation. We are gathering all the people involved in the process of assessing and implementing new solutions in one place at one time. And when they give us the okay, this means that it's technically and legally possible to implement this solution. and then the business is the leader. The business owner is the leader in taking the decision with whom they would like to follow. And that depends. Sometimes we are choosing 3 or 4 solutions for deepen workshops or POC. Sometimes we already know with whom we would like to work, so we are going to the testing phase or implementation phase. And this is the conclusion of the office hours. So to summarize, we are giving around 2 weeks for scouting before the office hours, 2-3 weeks between announcing the problem and the challenge to the final meetings. And then within 1 up to 2 weeks, we can decide with whom we are ready to go forward, to start the next phase, which is most often testing. And Paulina, maybe you can elaborate on testing a bit.
Yes, but I will step back a bit because I'm not sure if we underline one important thing or two. While facing us, I know that there is a role of, I know, salesperson in the startup, any company. But honestly, guys, we don't want to talk with those people, with people playing this role, because we need honesty. Yes, so CTOs, the product owners, are those people we want to talk to, because this is important to know what is the status of the product actually or a service. And money, this is also important, especially from the colleagues from inside of the bank. Here there is a golden rule of the process, so 200,000 Polish zloty per POC per vendor. Yes, so if you will go through the process and we will say, okay, you are one of the companies that we will test, this is the bottom line for you. This is important, I believe, you to know. Well, according to testing, so we sit with the product owner basically after the office hours. Usually every time basically we are able to say exactly the same day when we had the office hours with which companies we want to go further and we want to test and we want to try. And we sit with you during the next upcoming 2 weeks, and let's say we build the rules of the game. We build the rules of proof of concept. So basically how we will gonna test and prove that your technology works or not, actually, based on what data, based on what effects, we will have the information that the solution is good, that the solution supports actually our needs, that the solution fulfills our needs, and we should go further. This is quite important because these are the facts that will support the product owner and will support us in fighting for more money, in fighting for money for implementation, and having another priority, in fighting for people that could sit with us on implementation phase. Yeah, so this is important to have facts on the table, because sooner or later, usually sooner, we will be asked, hey guys, why we as a bank want to continue the cooperation with the startup? And we need to be able to answer why. Yeah, why company A or not company, you know, B or C or anything else. Yes, so we need to have facts. Also, the part of testing is important because this is also the topic when we write rules according to legal compliance, when we negotiate, because before going official, before implementation phase, this is not important to have facts on the table, but also to answer questions of our colleagues from areas like compliance. Michał, you know it the best.
Yes, and before I will explain what compliance really is, one disclaimer, because this is something we are quite often asked about. Do you prefer paid POC or free POC? So Paulina mentioned this threshold, this cap of 200,000 zlotys, but it's not obligatory. So some companies are giving POC as a part of the selling process, and they are not charging us for this. Some of them are covering their costs, especially where some development is needed. So this is also very important from your point of view to assess what is your cost of doing POC with the company, and it's my advice: do not spend money on uncertain cooperation. So if you have some costs, please put it on the corporation side, because from our point of view, it's not much expenditure, but from you, it could be a matter of life or death. But of course, we really appreciate free POC. It's much easier to from the operational point of view. But about compliance. So compliance, I don't know if you know what does it mean. So in banking, this is the unit that is taking care of being compliant, so in line with all the regulations around the bank. So banking law, but also European regulations, directives, being in line with consumer rights, and so on and so forth. So this is a main showstopper for most innovative solutions, because frankly speaking, innovative solutions are not yet assessed in line with those regulations. So here we need to make some work to explain how this solution what kind of effect it has on our obligations, and we need to explain for the regulator, for any control, how we manage the potential risks. So for example, data transfer, and compliance will say, okay, you need to be in line with GDPR, banking secrecy, as stated in banking law, and with IT security regarding the security of data. So, okay, we are taking this recommendation, we are going through the whole process, we are implementing necessary consents in scope of GDPR, we are limiting the scope of the data to the minimum for working of the solution. So compliance, I would say, it's a policeman that is standing in front of all written regulations, also those mentioned by Paulina coming from the BNP Paribas group. And they are making sure that all new products, processes meet those requirements, or at least not violate them. Working with compliance could be really an eye-opener. So I too often have the situation that great innovation, great product, nobody ever developed this. It's a killer, it will disrupt the market. And after going into details, yes, it's clearly that this is one of a kind, because frankly speaking, it's illegal. So the solution provided by the company is not in line with crucial legal requirements, so it cannot be implemented in any law regime. So anywhere in the world, because it's undermining the, for example, anti-money laundering rules. Yes, so this is too often I had to say, but it's a fact. So this is compliance. Compliance is mostly identified with, like I said, anti-money laundering, counter-terrorist financing, sanctions and embargoes, but it's really wider, and it covers all the regulations that the bank need to, or the corporation, because compliance is also present in other corporations, need to fulfill. So this is this. I believe you talked a bit about scaling. Do you want to elaborate a bit more after the implementation? Okay, so Paulina just muted and unmuted. So not without giving the answer.
I would say let's try. I would say let's try. Sorry for that. We will tell you more on the cases like Authenti, of course, or Senti1 or Migam. But anyway, for us, this is also important to use the network we have. So as you saw, we are a part of the group also in Poland. So you've got BNP Paribas real estate, you've got factoring, you've got leasing, you've got insurance companies, so BNP Paribas Cardiff. And whenever we got a nice solution, like Michał said, a kind of a corporate tech, actually, we introduce the solutions to our colleagues. So we open the door for you, for the new opportunities. Also, what we do, sometimes we have, let's say, at the first sight, maybe a bit of a crazy stuff. I try to wrote on chat some of the cases that we are discovering right now, but you will see us discovering the technology that supports, that produce, let's say, food from bugs, that supports vending machines, or basically the vending process. Totally crazy stuff. But why we do this? We try to build a nice relationship with our corporate customers. Yeah, so these are big companies, big businesses that approach us and say, hey guys, a part of the financial services, we see that you do quite nice stuff with the startups. Maybe you have something for us. So we use the network, and when we see let's say a nice solution and a nice startups concerning vending, for example, we approach our customer that actually we know, yeah, that the company is in a need or is in a discovery process, and checking those kind of relations. So we just again open the door. In the old world, probably we would organize a little bit of a meetup for not so many people. Now this is tailor-made for each of the company. This is tailor-made actually service that we do for our startups. But after the months, I believe that this is the best way to do that, without, let's say, all of the crazy stuff and all of the events making, but just carefully chosen business relationships and dedicated introduction. So basically, this is what we also do.
And this is what Adam asked on the chat when we started the presentation, when it was not clear enough what we are doing. And now, yes, this is the time we are taking chosen startups, scale-ups, innovative companies, especially their products, and we are presenting them to our corporate clients. So we are a middleman to deliver innovation to the more traditional business.
Being open to you, of course, I cannot use names, although some of the names are, I believe, known or will be known in days. When we will say openly to the market that this is our partner and we work together. So I just wanted you to see on what cases we are operating right now. And this is also important for you to know that the innovation teams are not having, let's say, 100 people or 50 people. Yeah, usually this is around 15 people at the table. And believe me, this is not enough to take care of all of the stuff. But here on the slide, you see the cases that we are facing these days. So these are the solutions for the remote identity verification that we are testing. For sure, we will go to the market and look for new solutions supporting us in KYC and recertification process. Should we explain what is KYC? Let us know your customer, yeah? Again, confirmation of identity by bank credentials. This is also what we are working on. Providers of green technologies for individual customers. So for example, we've got different financial tools that can help individuals to finance modernizing a home, for example. So we are looking for technologies that could help us diagnose the home, or let's say renovate the home in a way so the home would be more, let's say, green and more sustainable. Carbon footprint and HO2 consumption calculator for individuals, quite crazy stuff, but yes, we do it as well. Solutions supporting short-term and long-term rental for individuals, payment solutions and alternative payment methods, subscription management, solutions supporting automatic analysis of documents, basically everything that can support us in diminishing the paperwork, yeah, and make it more digital, make it more smooth. And of course, different value added services for different kinds of customers, especially for SME customers that could be embedded in, for example, our online banking platform for those kind of customers and bring additional value to them. Hope it was clear. Oh, what is KYC? Adam Kołodziej asked me how. Would you elaborate on this more?
Sure. I just wrote on the chat, but generally it's know your customer, and I mentioned anti-money laundering and being in line with financial sanctions and embargoes. So we need to identify quite in detailed way all people behind legal entities and private individuals who are our clients, customers, and we need to make sure that they are not on the sanction list, they are not wanted in any jurisdiction worldwide, they are not involved in financing of terrorism, on money laundering, and so on and so forth. So in case of private individuals, so individual clients, it's quite easy because you are giving this data either way to the bank. But in case of legal entities, it's quite complicated, especially when you are facing a huge international corporation and you are opening the account only for the local branch in Poland. The management here in Poland doesn't often know who is the UBO, so ultimate beneficiary owner of the whole group. So they need to ask, and this is a quite sensitive topic. So this is a huge market, this KYC, UBO, anti-money laundering procedures to develop automation solution, to do some business intelligence. So this is for what the compliance is mainly recognized for. And this is required from us, both from the banking law, but also anti-money laundering legislation in Poland and in European Union and from United States. And when I'm talking already, so we are not charging equity for being this middleman. We are thinking about revenue sharing agreements. So if we make the sale possible, we would like to have a cut in your provision. But this is case by case. So there is no golden rule. For sure, we are not going for equity. And this is maybe when we will talk more about authenticity, but it's quite important. We know that we are not qualified to do an innovative business in all the cases. So we are not such wonderful people that in the morning we can do digital document signing. At the noon we can do remote ID verification, and in the evening we will think about value-added service for our individual clients. No. That's why we are working with startup scale-ups with strong and dedicated founders. We wish them to drive their business because they have the vision, they have the knowledge, they have a dedication to deliver. So that's why we are avoiding taking equity and taking over decision powers in the company, because this is the easiest way to kill the business when people without knowledge are trying to drive the company.
Looking back at the chatbot, Piotr Kciszek, you're asking, are you presenting such directions of development on public? Usually no. I'll be honest with you. But this is not that I know we want to be strictly confidential on something. No, basically the landscape changes a lot, and working for acceleration programs myself with different corporations, I saw that publicly sharing a list of cases is a waste of time. It's a waste of time. This is not effective. That, let's say, we are active on the daily basis with the tribe leaders and product owners, and I'm just sharing what is under development, under discovery these days with you. But when we have a team meeting and we're, let's say, looking for our decision funnel, it can happen that we will say, hey guys, let the landscape change inside the company. Just let's freeze the topic, or let's kill the topic, because it won't go these days. Yeah, so this is basically what we do on a weekly matter. Okay.
And on the other hand, when we would announce that we are looking for value-added services for SMEs and corporate clients, we would die under startups, scale-ups, and established companies giving the offers to us. So these are the cases when we know that something will happen, but we don't know when, and when the business owner, when the product owner will have a tick in their backlog that this is the time they can spend money and resources for these cases.
Okay. So to just close a bit the topic of the office hours, but also to share some of the golden tips that we know also for while working, being in touch on a daily basis with our colleagues from different corporations, because we are not only sitting inside our bank, honestly, and the world is really, really small according to the staff. So before you choose a corporation to work with, check the culture, check the strategy. Usually this is official, yeah. So please have a look in it, because of course not every corporation is a good partner for you. Some of them just openly say that, hey guys, we won't work with the young companies, or we will let you be the leaders of your companies for first 3 years, yes, as one of the big companies said in one of the articles last Friday. I won't use the name, but honestly, I almost fall off my chair when I saw that. So check this.
They were never good at PR, frankly speaking.
No, they were never good at PR, but just check this, guys, because this is important also for on your future. If having your own company, this is a short-term, let's say, relationship and short-term plan, and you wish to be bought or acquired by somebody else, and then you'd wish to leave and do something else, this is also fine, but you should know that before. Yeah, just check it. Because we've got different examples on the market when the founders were, let's say, quite surprised when the train was moving not the direction they would wanted. I'm just checking the chat. So sorry, I frizzed a bit, but because I wanted to read what
I'm answering the chat, so no problem.
Okay. In-house policies. So, or I would say policy. When you work for a small company or even a medium company, especially when you have a startup, you have a feeling that you work as one, that the goal should be the same for everybody. In a big corporation, this is not that easy, honestly, because people have, sometimes they've got different priorities. For some of them, ego is more important. For others, the most important is in the place in the structure. Yeah, so you need to have at least the feeling of that, yes, because you've got, jak nazywać plemiona, Michał? Brakuje mi słowa teraz.
Tribes.
Tribes, yeah. Usually you got tribes that they are fighting with each other, sometimes on the money, sometimes on the priority, sometimes on something else. So it would be good that you would have, let's say, a single point of contact that will quite openly tell you guys, maybe this is not so good idea to approach those guys or to work with those guys. Yes, so do more than open a LinkedIn and check, for example, I know, chief omni-channel leader or whatever. Yeah, just do more digging instead of opening the LinkedIn and checking the positions of certain people. Yeah, because there is all of the metrics or relationships between the people, and if you cannot navigate between the relationships, it will be not so easy for you, or it will be extremely hard to have a success. Yes. Structure versus innovation team. This is something that I told you before. Check that. Just ask that to other teams that, hey guys, so how you work? Where are you in the structure? What kind of power do you have? Do you have a budget, or do you need to share it with somebody else, or you need to ask for the budget? Ask those questions openly, because it will save you loads of time. Yeah. Tribes, decision making, decision paths, and power. Again, we are in the middle of the changes, so we've got at least several tribes coming with, of course, few product owners inside, but this is our job to know the metrics. This is our job to know the priorities, to know on which cases most probably will have the money, and let's say go through the market and or approach us from your side and ask, hey guys, so what is the priority of yours for the next upcoming month? So for example, today's morning we had several calls with different startups, and they say, hey guys, this is not the topic for upcoming 2 months, this is not the topic even for December, but as we see how the machine is moving inside, we believe that it would be good to have a call at the beginning of 2022. Yeah, and this is basically your job to call us after. Yeah, and check how the situation moved. If it will move before, for sure we'll call you. You can be sure of that. Yeah, basically this is our job. Who is who and your single point of contact. Again, please don't make us angry, honestly, by approaching our, I know, board members or CEO, because still they will send an email to us. Hey guys, have you heard about the topic? And honestly, it does not look like that if I got an email from a board member or CEO, for sure I will talk to you. No, I will tell you honestly, purely, openly, that we are happy that you approach us, but if your solution does not match anywhere, even a slight idea of any of our colleagues from the banks, I will tell you that, because there are so many companies that are approaching us that this is impossible to tackle. Yeah, so I could spend 24 hours a day talking to you and it would bring nothing. And our KPI, this is also important for you to know, and this is basically, it should be KPI for most of the innovation teams, are the implementations. Not how much meetings I have, but how much implementations do we have? Basically, this is it. Business versus IT. Sometimes, and usually, this is quite a big fight in the big corporations. Beware of that. You are quite lucky if you haven't felt that already, but be aware of that usually there is a huge clash between the business and IT. Reasons of that are different, but it's good to have that in mind. The sooner IT, especially the IT architecture, appears, the better for you. So if even you talk to the business side, please ask of those people. Ask for somebody to join, because sooner or later they will appear, and if they appear later, you can have a crisis, and then they might kill the relationship because, for example, they were not been informed. Yes, or you have not been informed that based on the technological stuff that is inside a corporation, this is really impossible to work with you, or it does not make any business sense. Procedures versus processes. So basically ask, is there a short way, a dedicated process for young companies, for startups to enter? Yeah, just ask the guys on their how-to, because different companies, for example, our colleagues from PZU, they've got their own method, they have their own how-to work with the company. So this is really, really good to ask. Time to deliver and quickly. Well, I believe you know that your quickly this is not our quickly. So your quickly is 3 days or 5 days, and our quickly is 6 months. Yeah, so have that in mind. If you're dying because you're lacking of capital and you're waiting for us to work with you and be your customer, have that in mind that it can take 6 months. Yes, so don't die before. As this is actually a demanding relationship. Budget financing, what actually means expensive? Usually young companies think, well, you're a bank, you're a big corporation, you've got loads and loads of money. Well, partially this is true, but I assure you that we've got so many challenges to tackle with that actually we don't have that much of money to tackle all. And also, again, being using the business pragmatism, or working with startups as vendors, this is basically cheaper for us. Yeah, but I'm just being honest with you. Security staff.
And one important thing here, I need to say this because it's my personal nightmare that settling the invoice for 1, 5, 10,000 zlotys, it's a nightmare. And please also bear in mind that the process behind settling the expenditures from the project is a nightmare. And sometimes it's better to have a higher price at the end than to have a small payment all the way through the process. Because at the end, there is somebody who needs to settle them. And in our case, it's most often us. So this is just a personal insight on settling the costs and what does the expensive mean.
And as we said to you a few times already, perfect timing is everything. So don't be angry when we sometimes say no, or we will tell you just wait. Yeah, sometimes this is no use of pushing. Actually, this is on being honest with each other, and basically this is what we try to do with you guys. As well. I had one more thing in my mind, but just slipped. Anyway, I believe, I know what I wanted to tell to you guys. Before you start to sell, usually we spend, this is also our, I don't know, this is coming from our attitude, our mindset, mine and Michał's mindset, that we actually like to cooperate with people. We actually like to support young people with developing their ideas or the startups, and we use sometimes our free time, not so free time, yeah, but we use some time to just talk directly to different people that are developing the businesses, to stay open-minded, to keep our minds open, and if it will happen that we will spend some time with you, I believe so, because this is basically why we are here. Before you start to sell, please start to ask questions. What is our actual need in the area you're operating on? Please start with asking questions, not with selling, because this is something what keeps me angry every time when I meet a young people, when I meet a young team or a startup, whatever, and without asking, they start to sell, and the thing that the sell does not match anywhere our needs. Even if they used to sell it or they sold it with a success to a different bank. Again, it was a different bank. The structure is different. The challenges are quite different. The priorities, I'm for sure, are different. So before you go with the flow, just ask us what is the situation, and when you're having a coffee, no matter offline or online, we are the people that will answer the questions openly. Okay, I believe this is it from our side. We could talk more. If you wish, we can go to answering your questions, or if you want, we could elaborate on the certain cases, especially on Authenti, which was actually our guinea pig following the stuff. So let's say the floor is yours.
We had several guinea pigs.
Yeah. True. So actually, guys, it depends on you. We can develop on Senti1, elaborate more on Senti1 with the chatbots, or on Authenti with the e-signatures platform, or on New Delta, because we've got 16 implementations behind. Of course, we cannot directly openly talk about all of them, but there are many cases that we could share the insights with you. How we do it, what we felt.
So, meanwhile, I maybe when you are thinking about the questions, I would underline that solving the issue of your client is the most important thing. Doesn't matter how awesome technology or solution you have. If it doesn't meet the need, it's useless. So this is something to bear in mind. Think how you can do business together. This is quite important. It's not about, in our case, earning money in relation with the bank, but how we can develop the business together. Okay, so I see that Maciej has a question and Piotr has a question, so start. Please, Maciej, ask away. Or you can write one if you are not comfortable to speak.
Up to you guys.
Or Paulina, mute everybody so effectively that.
But everybody can unmute themselves. So if not, just let me know. Maciek, do you hear us?
I think we lost Maciej.
Okay, so Piotrek?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you, yes.
Perfect, that's great. Question is connected with areas of development and these areas that you are searching for ideas on the market. You've been presenting one slide with directions that you are interested in from the market. And question from my side is such information officially published somewhere? Do you have any place where you are putting information? Okay, we as a corpo, as an institution, we are at this moment searching for such ideas in these directions. Do you have something like this?
So Piotr, I believe I tried to, at least I tried to answer this few moments ago. So no, you won't find anywhere a list of the topics that we're actually discovering right now. Because this is an internal knowledge, this is exclusive for you that we showed today without the names of the company. Because as I said before, the timing and the possibilities are changing, sometimes daily. So when we've got our weekly meeting, for example, it will be possible that we will freeze at least 3 of the topics because it won't be, let's say, the perfect timing to move. And I cannot do it on the market. Say on the Monday, hey guys, those topics are under discovery, and let's say tell it on Friday, all 3 of them are freezed. Yes, because this is internal, yeah, and it won't be, let's say, wise, I believe, to share all of those details. But whenever you see office hours, that's for sure an official priority and official topic that we start scouting for. But this is one case, this is one area per 2 months usually, yeah, because this is how often we go to the market.
Okay.
Yes, so maybe to rephrase this, the current need is announced by the office hours. So when we have a dedicated business owner, we have a budget and the process clarified. We are announcing it through the press release on LinkedIn. This is available on our website. It's bnpparibas.pl/startup, I believe. So but this is only the current need, the current office hours process that Paulina mentioned just a second ago, and we are actively looking. And connecting this with Mateusz's question, the best way is to ask away. So that's the honest part I was talking about. We are receiving plenty of presentations, of information about products, and we are trying to answer them all. Mostly we are answering, this is not for us. Sometimes we are answering that this is quite interesting. As for today, it's not in our scope of interest, but we will keep you in mind and we will come back to this topic. We will let you know. And we really mean this. So when we know about interesting solution and the time comes, so for example, there is a business owner looking for similar thing, we are getting in touch. We are letting you know that this is the time, for example, for office hours. Or if there are no office hours and there is an interest from the bank, okay, so let's organize a workshop so you can present in details what you are offering. And this is mainly for green topics and sustainability, that we are making workshops and presenting what is available on the market, because it's not a very mature market. The green solutions, the sustainability is still very, very fresh and young, and we need inspiration to know what we are looking for. And yes, Adam, we for sure see some interesting startups in this edition of Warsaw Booster, but we won't tell which one.
Any other questions, guys? This is purely the time for you, so use it well.
So Paulina may be waiting for the questions. We could talk about I don't know, Authenti or okay,
yes.
Adam, you okay? There is a hand raised, so Adam, please.
Sorry, you mentioned sustainability projects and building. And green stuff, right? So
yes.
basically, we as a startup, we actually this is our focus area in terms of real estate. Can you elaborate a little bit more about what kind of sustainability and green stuff you are talking about? Is it like purely IoT solutions, or is it like a more comprehensive approach? Just keep in mind, I'm an architect, so you can.
Okay. We are not focusing on technology.
Paula, could you let Maciek in because he's
that's the why he didn't ask the question. You throw him out.
No, I did not throw him out. Just let me check it, because when
okay, so about these green topics, I will let Paulina elaborate a bit in a moment. But in general, we are looking for different kind of solutions. It's tricky because on one hand, we have a dedicated credit line to finance our corporate and SME clients with thermomodernization and energy efficiency investments in the building. So if we would find an IoT or a software solution that could be financed this way to improve the buildings and improve the general sustainability of our clients, most probably we would promote it and say to, as Paulina and I said, okay, dear corporate X producer of foam, for example, we have this portfolio of solutions that could improve your SDG rating, ESG, sorry, rating. If you are interested, we could finance this with dedicated loan with attractive pricing and good, in general, good conditions. So this is the one thing. The second one is, for example, our cooperation with Early. So this is I don't know if you know them. They are offering the IoT sensors for smog. So they are looking for companies who could install their sensors on their buildings, so they can monitor the level of smog in the city. So in this case, we are just like any other corporation with a building under our management, and we install this on our head office. Paperless is also part of the green initiative, because one pack of paper is 2 kilos of CO2 and 56 liters of water in production. So limiting this also contribute to the environment. Paulina, you have something to add on the green topics?
I believe no, you said, or no, maybe I will, because I wrote it on the chat as well. So as we've got, again, so we've got the different financing tools for different types of customers. So honestly, we are not focusing on technology in here, yeah, because the technology is not actually the answer, according to Adam, who is IT, yeah. Let's say technology without anything else, this is not an answer. We've got the case, for example, we can finance, as I wrote you on the chat, it seems that we will be able to finance home renovation, yeah? So for example, if you are an individual, you have a home, you want to renovate it, and you'd wish to have it more sustainable, more green effective, yeah? So it would be good to know, for example, what tools technologies we could offer to the customers that he or she could buy and embed in the home, and to become more sustainable. On the other hand, I'd wish to have more tools and that could help us in diagnosing the situation of the home, yeah? So for example, that I could give to our consultants and say, hey guys, having this and that tools embedded, you can diagnose the situation of the home remotely, and you could build, let's say, a financial plan for the homeowner, and say, hey, if you will use these technologies, list of companies, for example, or list of the technologies, and use these financial tools, you will, for example, I don't know, save money in 5 years' time, yeah?
Got it. Paulina, it's actually funny that you mentioned that. There is only one, if I'm not mistaken, company in the world that does something like that. It's called ISVE. We are actually in talk with them currently, because this process is very complex, because these simulation techniques, they work on data, on big data. And it doesn't have a physical representation and what actually market has available. And this is where we come into this picture, where we actually provide very specific model of procurement, which allows to actually execute those beautiful calculations into actually solid financial model, what you can actually do, and without actually over budgeting yourself in the process. Well, we should talk later, maybe.
Okay. Good to know. So, for example, so to simplify the topic, on one hand, I'm looking for a kind of green calculator for our colleagues, yeah, to make the diagnostic and offer financial solutions and offer technologies for our customers, and to show especially to our customers that, hey, it's a bargain for you, yeah, you should do this, yes, because those people, they do not have the knowledge that we have, so it needs to be extremely simple, yes. So this is one hand, and on the other hand, it would be good to say to the owners of the houses, we got nice stuff for you. These are the companies that work with us. Maybe you could use one of the technologies of them. Yeah. So according to the green stuff, I believe this is it. However, together with Michał, we spent some time discovering food and agro technologies because we've got, let's say, this is a part of the organization, but not only in Poland, it's covering Turkey, it's covering Ukraine as well. So we've got Food and Agro Hub. So these are the colleagues that are tackling, let's say, everything that means producing the food, yeah, from the field to the table. So whatever can be put on the road and simplify the road, it can be interesting for us. Yeah. So precise farming or rolnictwo precyzyjne.
So we have an example. We are working with Sat Agro. So this is a spin-off of the Warsaw University. They are offering detailed maps for automated machines to and here I need a word because the nabus is manure, but how to okay, so they need to they are producing a detailed maps to deliver proteins to the green stuff to the field based on satellite images. And basically speaking, they're measuring the chlorophyll, the green in the field, and basing on this, they are making calculation how much of protein, how much of chemistry they need to deliver in each part of the field. And this is the startup. We onboarded them to our dedicated portal dedicated to agro, so to farmers and food producers. And we are selling them or reselling them to our clients to propagate the precise farming methods. So this is one example. On this scheme, we are also working with Agrivi and Rolnikon, I believe. So these are PFMs for farmers, big farmers and small farmers. It's quite sophisticated solution. Before merging with BGZ, I didn't know that farm is so complex institution, and they need a separate ERP and financial software to be managed. And this is the problem we are solving.
Okay.
A few other things as I'm trying to elaborate more also on the cases. Yes. So everything that we potentially could offer to our big customers, big partners, as I told you, they approach us and say, we want to be more sustainable. We've got sustainable financing for them, but they ask us on technologies. Yes. So for example, if we've got a producer and for example, we saw a nice technology concerning packages to be more eco-friendly, yes, we will make the introduction. Yes, but we need to check the technology, we need to believe the technology, we need to see that there is something more than the PowerPoint to make the introduction. Yeah.
Question, do you provide like a line of credit for real estate developers to develop their, I don't know, estates or buildings, or no? Yes.
In general, yes. So it's a simple question with complicated answer. In general, the developers are our clients. We are financing building and renovating of buildings. But it all depends on the investment.
Okay. Is it in your business to be sure that this credit line is spent accurately and properly?
Yeah, but well,
again,
maybe not actually on us, but yes, but there is a checkup, yeah. So whenever we approach,
what I'm getting at is, sorry, what I'm getting at is the construction, let's just say, budget has a tendency to grow in time for various reasons. I can talk 2 hours about it. So what I'm saying is, as a credit giver, right, it's in your best interest to actually make sure that this is done properly, because you want to finish the investment and reap the benefits, right?
In general, yes, but we are monitoring this kind of investment quite tightly. So I know where you're getting at, and I'm sure this is
I can show you
something to discuss offline, but yeah.
I can show you,
but
it's accurately. I might share some new dimensions to it. It might be interesting.
I would say, Adam,
yeah.
I would say, Adam, devil is in details, yeah, because we are supporting young, innovative companies. So according to the other part of our offer, this is not something that we are bragging about on the market, because this is cherry picking, yeah. We do not want to have, let's say, 10,000 of companies approaching us. This is not. This is the boutique approach, as we say. So we are approached by different young companies that say, hey guys, we need financials, yeah. Each and every situation is different, actually, and we do a deep dive analysis to support our colleagues, let's say, for the more traditional bankers and analysts, to push the stuff or to freeze it. Each case is different, yes, but
absolutely.
We are monitoring carefully what's happening inside the money. We are more flexible, yes, but for sure we will check what is the solution. And usually the banks are focusing on the historical financial data. When you look on the startups, this is, let's say, not the best attitude to do. So we are behaving more like an VC. So we are trying to give certain points of belief that we believe that the solution will grow and all of the stuff. But again, this is individual. Yeah, so we won't answer to, yes, we will give you that. I would say there is a possibility, but we need to check you. Come on.
Okay, Paulina, I absolutely understand. Keep in mind, we already have a procedure for POC with the corporates that doesn't include any money or anything. We actually want you to try us. Second thing is, we already have actually we might have actually very cool proposal for you for additional kind of a revenue stream from this particular process. This is
I like cool proposals, and actually, guys, have something in mind, because some of you already approached us. We know from different events and all of the stuff. Guys, have in mind also when you're approaching us how by joining forces we could earn money together. Basically. Just even try to think about this, because usually startups approach us and say, hey, just buy the stuff from us. And like, gosh, actually, this is not the game in here. Figure something out, or talk to us. We will share the knowledge, how we could earn money together. What could be the business model when we put the blocks of the bank, of your solution, and we put, for example, I know, individual customers inside, yeah? Because what is the business of the bank when we are approached and you say, hey, offer us to your customers? Honestly, it makes our colleagues from the business extremely fucking angry. Yeah, I'm just being honest with you. So try to think of this, please. Yeah.
Yeah. Paulina, I know that Maciej is back and he had a question, and there is one question from Gosia from Six Storm. So maybe ladies first. What do you especially mean by sustainable big data searches?
Gosia, please unmute, or if not, I will try.
I'm trying. Sustainable search. I mean, we have developed extremely efficient technology. So using our technology can, I don't know how to say it in English, ersparen, can save resources, it can save time, energy, and
okay, so let me rephrase if I understand correctly. So this is optimization of big data usage, so it will make it more efficient.
Yes, because they are on the market, there are two kinds of solutions. Some of them are fast and expensive because they are using RAM, random access memory, and the other are slow and not expensive because they are using SSD. And we were able to create a new technology using SSD being fast as RAM. And we are able to serve 200 more unique customers at the same time for one server. So there is a huge savement in terms of money, time, energy. But I don't know if this is kind of sustainability you are looking for. It's not solar energy or...
It's very interesting, and I think we could elaborate a bit about this, because the technology you are offering is quite interesting, but it's not directed to the business. So the business owner, the traditional business owner, for example, in the bank, wouldn't understand what you are selling. So your offer is dedicated for IT or data scientists who are tackling these issues on a daily basis. So in our case, we could hear you out, ask more questions about the solution, and present it to the potential business owner from inside IT or data science. Most probably, nobody would come with such issue to us, so we wouldn't announce office hours on this particular topic. So I believe, Paulina, correct me if I'm wrong, this is a good example why contacting us directly with the description of the solution could be a good idea. Then we could ask if there is this kind of problem inside of our IT. Because, for example, if we are talking about sustainability in IT, Microsoft announced that they will be zero emission. So they will withdraw all the carbon they emitted since the beginning of Microsoft up to 250. So and using Microsoft would be carbon neutral. So this is something I don't know if it's well known on the market, but emission and sustainability in IT is quite difficult to measure. So it's not only the number and what kind of servers you have and where they are localized, because basically speaking, all servers in Poland are supplied by carbon, so they are not very sustainable. If you are using cloud, the story is different. But to cut things short, I believe this could be interesting, but we would never, most probably, announce this as office hours because it's a very niche problem, and majority of business owners wouldn't even understand what you are selling. You have a very narrow group of receivers of your technology. So these are core IT and data scientists.
Actually not. This is kind of enterprise search, and search is business critical for every kind of business.
But from when we are talking with our colleagues from sales, when they are here big data, they imagine a big server farm where there is most probably AI or machine learning, if they are more sophisticated, which is going through the lake of data and giving them advices based on the number of data. So the level of understanding, and this is the educational mission we have. We had some education meetings with our colleagues from the bank on big data and AI. What does it actually mean? We have a dedicated team of data scientists who are the best people to speak about this topic, because they would ask you questions and dedicated technical questions about the technology you are using, about the advantages compared to other entities, and they would really appreciate your answers, while the business would compare the Excel, how much they are paying now, how much they would pay in the future, and nothing else really matters for them. Paulina, you have something to add on this big data?
On the matter, no, this is quite specific. Yes, so this is quite good. This is actually the point of having those meetings and being a part of the acceleration program, that we can share with you, let's say, our knowledge and the doubts. Yeah, and some of the knowledge possibilities are quite generic. Yeah, that, and even we've got the same cases inside our team, because actually the data team, this is the part of our team. We've got UX guys inside, designers, and also the data scientists inside our team. And from my point of view, this is really really hard to sell their skills, or to rewrite the skills and the effects of the models that they provide for the real business effects.
Okay.
Yes, and this is the challenge. When you say about the data and all the stuff, you need to be extremely pragmatic. Yeah, what we can achieve on that, because when I see my guys from the data, they got brilliant minds, but the business sits, listens, and okay, so what should we do with the stuff you present? You need to be extremely pragmatic.
For example, Michał told us before, compliance. We are able to index all regulations, or laws, or embargoes, or sanctions, every information you need in real time. Many hundreds user could contemporary use, ask, get results of the search. But it's just a very small, very narrow example of we can do. Just as example, but we can index any kind of information and make it searchable for
Gosia, if you will go, we can search for any kind of information. I will tell you honestly, you won't do business with us.
Okay.
When you say we can do everything, sorry, I'm just a bit, of course, elaborating on that. We've got tens of the companies or startups, idea makers that say we can do everything with you based on that technology. We do not have time to
I would say the list of ban words, it's always, everything.
Yeah.
And you will be happy.
Choose, if you want to approach a corporation successfully, just say, hey guys, I've got a nice technology and I can help you with
all your internal documents, let's say, all your internal documents.
I would go even shorter, not all of the internal documents, but I would even choose even a part of a story, or my product is for operations. So, yeah.
Paulina, there is a list of abuse clause published by WOKIK, so the Polish institution. I'm losing my words at this time. So there is a list of forbidden abusive clause. So what you could do is you could present a solution that, based on our electronic archive, you could list all the abusive clause used in our agreement, so we can avoid cost of potential trial or making amendments to those agreements. So this is a very specific and narrow example of your technology. And if we would use it and our compliance and legal would be happy with the results, we could make a deep dive and broaden the scope. So, okay, we have abusive clause. Maybe we could go for extensive search of forbidden or sanctioned ships and eliminating false positives from the sanction list. And then step by step, we could broaden the scope of your technology. But please start with a very specific example of solution, because it's easily understandable. It doesn't seem like a huge project, so it's manageable. So yeah. I believe it's not only for big data, but for all projects. Don't use all the words always, everything. do not be general, be very, very specific.
Okay.
Anybody else, guys? Maciek Sadowski, maybe you now.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. So, guys, maybe I will start with some words of gratitude, because not only you provided our friends from Warsaw Booster an excellent piece of knowledge and of your doświadczenia boiskowe, your tips and tricks and your expertise, but also you were very honest, which is great. Many experts, many mentors are trying to do as soft message as it's possible, and you just exactly navigate us what we potentially could do, what is rather impossible, and what are the list of habits or approaches that you really don't recommend. So thank you for that. And here, knowing Michał very well and his superior experience, yet I want to compliment Paulina. Maybe you said that, Paulina, but I'm not sure if everybody understood that your previous life was more with venture capitalism and with acceleration programs. So you have a very good, overview of different verticals than banking. And I wanted to ask you, both of you guys, but especially I'm probably starting with Paulina, if I may, when a startup prepares a narration for a corporation, not necessarily a bank, the startup needs to present its unique value proposition, its main advantages over existing state-of-the-art competences, competitors. And I wanted to ask you, is there any other field of corporate business that you find particularly similar in terms of starting working with as banking? Like right now, I'm guessing out of the blue, automotive industry is quite similar to banking in terms of how startup can approach a corporation, and which sectors are really far from what you guys in BNPP have created.
So I would start. I believe I could start and try to answer that, because today I had a small meeting when a person said, whenever crisis appears, use the crisis well. This is a great opportunity. And actually, this is what COVID did to us. Of course, I'm not happy that we are facing this stuff still, but for people like us, it gave a lot of opportunities. But of course, on the other hand, in different corporations, innovation teams were killed. Let's be honest. But what I see, there is let's say, the train is getting faster than it used to be, and a few of the areas are especially going fast, or I'm telling about retail stuff. Yeah, so all of the stuff that you could buy in a shopping malls and a shopping center. Yeah, so those guys that used to sell shoes in the shopping malls, for example, are digitalizing heavily. Yes, so what I'm trying to tell you, whenever something was sold offline, for sure it will focus on selling online. So whenever you can support the stuff, support the process, help them here, this is for sure a blooming market. Of course, all of the medical stuff, yes, so pharma, medical, so this is again a huge pile of opportunities which COVID actually helped, but also according to the green stuff and what we see, what happens through the market, this is a huge opportunity for all of the things that, for example, by joining forces, we can say, not even with us, with a bank, we can say, hey, do not buy the stuff, you can rent it. Yeah. So, and all of the topics that can make you be less harmful for the earth, basically. So again, even when you think about using something instead of plastic, yeah. So leaving less of plastic on the market. So you've got plenty of opportunities, especially when we are thinking about how the big cities work, like Warsaw, exactly, yeah. When sometimes it is really hard to breathe because everybody or most people are still using their cars, and one person is riding basically a car, and this is impossible to breathe. So there ahead of us are plenty of challenges and plenty of possibilities, and there won't be a better, I believe there won't be a better space to do it, to use it, before the real crisis appear, in my opinion. Yeah, so plenty of opportunities, plenty of possibilities, also because companies like ours, I believe, know that some of the things need to be treated as an investment, long-term investment, to support the growth of the technologies, even to make the world better. Yeah. Michał?
And Maciej, answering your question, so I would say, I was telling about this at the beginning. If you take out the regulated stuff from the bank, so the KNF, the banking law, we are corporation like any other else. So this is what we mean mentioning corpotech. So you have technology and opportunities common for all corporations with large headcount and extensive processes. So we are similar in automotive. So for example, in processing documentation, we have tons of documentation, for example, HR coming from one place to another. And that's why we are using Authentic in the bank, and we will promote Authentic towards our even automotive clients, because we have this thing in common. And corporations, I would say, they are too big to be assessed only in one scope. So if you take the regulated stuff, I would say we are similar to insurance industry. So insurance are also heavily regulated. They need to meet plenty of external criteria. So if something works for the bank in scope, for example, in IT security, it could also work for insurance, most probably also for pharma. So the medical secrecy is quite similar in restrictions to the banking secrecy. Of course, the regulations are completely different, but you can say if you are meeting the bank requirements, you could try to go to pharma. So this is how I understand the differences and similarities.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. I think it's an important insight because in many talks, in many conferences that we startup people from startup industry, I'm not a startupper myself, attend, we hear that your famous tandem of two, Paulina and Michał and Paulina, are a new, let's say, a new standard, new quality of corporate innovation office or corporate innovation interface. And I thought it's quite relevant for our participants to know that not every company actually not every vertical can have exactly the same kind and open and honest approach, not because they are evil or something, it's just because they never had this experience. They have somebody, usually a group of engineers and some business development managers who trying to work with innovation, but it's usually hard for them. So just don't guys think that it's so good everywhere. It used to be good in many cases, but you can also encounter organizations where the path towards business units and recognition of your solution or assessment of your solution, maybe that's the better word, it's not that easy and it takes really long time.
But have one thing in mind. So do not focus so much on the industry, honestly. As I told you, we've got Migam, yeah, we've got Booksy, we've got Farm Solutions, and actually we are a bank, yeah. So the more important are the customers and the needs of the customers, and our customers are actually so extremely different and give us so many opportunities that when we see that the challenge is big enough, why not doing it? Yeah, why not on board solutions from different industries to the banking sector and on the way around? So the situation gives us many extremely nice opportunities these days, and there's no better place to use it, basically.
Thank
Okay,
you.
I believe we still got 20 minutes.
And we have two arms raised, so
Adam was first.
Right. I just wanted to add one thing based just on my experience, personal experience, because in our startups, actually, corporate investors and partners is a must go. So look for alignment. Totally, you need to be aligned totally with a corporate investor. First of all, do your homework. Go very deep what they do and where you can help them. And how Paulina actually was saying, how we can both make money. This is the most, I can't even emphasize it. This is the most important message.
As used to be venture capitalists, I need to do this.
Yes. This is the most important money. So if you are looking for corporate guys, you need to make sure, you need to show them that, yes, this is how we make money. And this is how we do things better. I can even tell you one more thing. Our valuation method is even based on how much money we can bring to our investor. And it is based on that, because literally VCs, no, only corporate. Unfortunately, yes. Thank you, sorry.
Okay, who else? Because we've got leaders.
Yeah, just as a little bit summary connected with your previous discussion and this what Adam just said, because after today's discussion, I found out that you are absolutely open for, let's say, consortium, being a partner in business, which will just give you the money. If we are coming back to you with real business plan, with chances to develop the product and give you a chance to earn, we can start and talk about almost everything. Maybe there will be something listed on your internal list, or maybe you will just jump in your minds, as I understand.
In general, yes. So this is maybe to add some jict to this bottle of honey. We wish to focus on certain things. So as we said to Gosia, that the offer, that the product should be as narrow as possible to touching the direct issue, one issue at a time. So we have some, I would say, reserve for people who are telling us that they can do anything. So they can start cooperation with blockchain, go through AI, machine learning, and finish on, I don't know, green mobility, and everything in one cooperation. So if somebody is not focused on one solution, on one, I don't know, want to use the tech, but one solution, it's most probably he will fail because he's trying to do too many things at once.
Yeah, I understand. I think that you can expect our contact connected with real business, real money for you as an institution, but with a chance for getting it and making it together because of some changes that are happening on the market and something what we are recognizing as a huge opportunity. But we'll discuss it separately.
We will see that, yeah, because we've got many opportunities from the market. I'm just being honest with you. Yeah, so we need to choose. At the same time, we are able to run with a deep dive around 4 cases. Yeah, so this is also important. Yeah, that there is no point of touching everything and tackling everything. The good point is that we just updated, let's say, the list of the priorities from the tribe leaders and product owners. So let's say this is a good time to say to each other, it might be a case or no, or not till the end of the year. Yeah, but anyway, I believe Kasia will a bit arrange the meetings, one-on-one meetings, because I believe that this is also the point of this program, to have those meetings with you guys. Tomorrow you will have another part of our team, because you will have financial stuff So you will have two Magdas from our teams, our amazing girls, that they will elaborate more on the financial stuff and also how we analyze the financials for you. I believe it will be the hardest part or more tough part than today, but use their knowledge well, because they're extremely good with what they do. And so you will see, let's say, all parts of the story. And after that, I believe that, yeah, you've been given a homework, so we will see your homework as well, your answers. And I believe that Kasia is the one, as she's sitting today with us, who will organize one-on-one meetings with you on your calls. I believe it is how it should be done. Kasia, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, you're right. You're right, exactly.
And I don't know if some of you is going to InfoShare next week. We are missing InfoShare a lot in Gdańsk. I believe, I hope it will be an opportunity to meet. We go with Michał. We are missing InfoShare. We are vaccinated. So
it will be a bit colder than usually in May, but I hope we will manage in the evening on the beach in Gdańsk.
Okay, I don't know if I want to sit on the beach in October, but anyway, if you're,
I will show you your new favorite sport. How you say morsowanie?
No. So
Nice,
anyway,
nice,
as you see, we really like each other. But this is actually the baseline for doing the amazing stuff. If you'd wish also to talk to us at InfoShare, we are going. And tomorrow you will meet amazing Magdas from our team.
And
anything
not less
else,
amazing,
guys?
Rafał, Ania, and other people, Kasia. So
Kuba, Janek.
don't be so inclusive.
Yeah. Still having 13 minutes, so if you want, we can still talk. If not, I believe it would be good time to eat something today or have another coffee. Okay, so we are closing the stuff. So we are closing the shop for today.
All right.
Many thanks for having us. Many thanks for all of the questions that you answered. I'm really missing, let's say, offline activities and offline meetings. I hope we will have a chance to have a little bit of, let's say, offline networking, because for me this is a lot more easier than talking to the screen. But I hope we managed a bit to share the knowledge.
You did a lot, and not taking bread and responsibilities from Kasia, who is the most important person from our side on this meeting. I just, as a humble participant, want to say that it's always a humongous pleasure, guys, to talk to you. Wise, cool, straightforward people. This is something every accelerator needs. So big heart sending from our office, and thank you very much. You are the best.
Bye, guys. Thanks.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye.